What is up, guys? It is Dilly and Donnie here, and I thought I'd make a pretty interesting video today. I don't know, try to change some of the camera angles, have a little bit of fun, something like that. You know, I want to be putting out a lot of stuff, random stuff. But anyways, let's get right into it. So, I wanted to talk about the fact that life is risk. Literally, life is risk. If you don't risk it, you don't get it. If you don't risk it, you don't have the chance for it. If you don't risk it, you can't foresee it. You can't think about it, you have to act upon it too. Because life will demand that you risk whatever it is need be to get what is needed. And it's not fun because we all have our, comfort zones, our areas of reverting back to safety and whatnot. And we may not have time to find growth or even think about time what will make us grow. But sometimes the answer is pretty simple. All we gotta do is all we gotta do is just think about what will demand more out of us and what is risky for us that will benefit us. Not saying like go to the casino and just get $300 and just put that on the table and risk it all. No, that's dumb. But what I mean by is if you have certain goals, right, and you know that it already demands of you this, but we're going to talk about risk too, then you got to be willing to understand that what is it going to risk, right? It's only going to risk two things: failure and success. Granted, I understand the big scheme of picture, it's like, oh, that's like risking my ability to be able to pay rent this month or feed myself or have a secure job and, make sure I can allow progression. But the truth is, even if it's happening or not, whether it's stagnant or not, what you might really want and might really need, you have to risk it sometimes, or you have to be able to sacrifice and replace what is. We have to be willing to risk what is needed. I mean, think about it. You have to. That's pretty much how life is going to work. Don't get me wrong. There's one beautiful thing about risk is we're able to calculate a good percentage of it on most things, right? So just because you want to go give this a chance, but you're so unsure and you have no prior knowledge and you have nobody around that can help you, that's fine. That's honestly fine. But you also have to be willing to be a beginner and be new for some things that you want to do. Because we all can't be the jack of all trades and master of none. Sure, a lot of us might be mastery in one thing, but we can master many things. And yes, we can be the jack of all trades too. But pretty much, whatever we want to dive into or get into, either we're going to fall in three categories. We're gonna know it, know a little bit of it, or know none of it. So it doesn't matter which one you are, because at all three levels, you still can lose it all and gain it all. You can start with nothing and lose. You can start with a little bit of familiarity or moderate, or somewhere in the intermediate to moderate familiarity, or profession or whatever. Like, you get what I mean. You know what these allegories mean. And still make it and lose it all, and you can still be at the top level, right? The top is highest level. You know the craft in and out, back of your hand. And you still can get it all and lose it all. I understand that at three different factors, there's many other things that will support or mitigate risk. You know what I mean? I understand that knowing how much money is needed, how much knowledge is needed, how much networking is needed. But we also worry about statistics too. We hear it all the time. We hear things like, 9 out of 10 people that start in business will fail. But you know what's the thing? The thing is, if you're willing to do what you want, it doesn't matter about statistics. If you're willing to go through the process and risk it, it doesn't matter. As long as you're willing to have some sort of consistency and persistence with what you do, you're going to be able to do it. I mean, a very prime example is me being made a meta again with this video, and me saying that posting this on YouTube, me still only having like few videos and only getting views that only are between 5 to 10 or sometimes less. I've had views that go above 50. Such low numbers, And really what I'm risking here is actually nothing negative, but everything positive. But the problem is, it's just like, well, we can't foresee, the day that I start to get to, 100 views, 1,000 views, 10,000 views, etc., right? But as long as I stay consistent, I'm willing to find ways to grow, produce more content, produce better content, do things that are productive off time, that are true to me, and just, live how I want to live while, being in this aggressive action of risking it without having to destroy it either. Don't get me wrong, that doesn't mean, like I said earlier, just risk it all and go to the casino, like I said, but you have to be willing to understand what it is that you are really calling towards and want to know more, and see how you're going to achieve it through your risk or whatever is demanded you to grow. And I get it, environment and us being solitary these days doesn't really help. There's only the small list of things that are solitary that are beneficial. There's nothing bad about solitude, but with an African proverb, I think it best explains it. If you want to move fast, you go alone. But if you want to move far, you go with people, right? It's not easy because there's a lot of technology these days that are making us more and more solitary and replacing a bunch of buffer actions and filling this and filling that. Sometimes it's helping us and sometimes it's wasting our time. More or not, it's the latter. We're all on our phones and social media, letting it waste our time and being a very passive user of it. But at what point, when we start being producers too, we got to be able to find some sort of balance and navigate through and through of how we're gonna manage it and make it conducive to ourselves, because there's nothing wrong with reading a book in solitude about learning something about business or bodybuilding or something like that. There's nothing wrong being in solitude, just relaxing and playing video games. But the thing is, you have moderation, and you have how much time and all that nonsense too, right? Because think about it, Elon Musk, he's worth billions, right? SpaceX, Tesla. But a lot of people don't know the fact that he didn't come from a rich family, all right? He actually got a really, really small loan from his father. And it wasn't something like $1 million. If you look it up, you'll see that it's significant enough to put him forward, but not enough to put him securely forward. And then you realize that if you look it up, with all his kids and his hectic schedule, he still finds time to play video games, believe it or not. So I'm not saying video games are a waste of time, but in what that man does is define risk. And so do many great entrepreneurs and musicians, actors, and even mechanics. Like, anybody can greatly define risk. All right, it's not about your title, it's about the actions that that define that person, not the title. Because they didn't get that title per se without risking it, in some sense. But for some things that we know and we just don't have in our mind at the moment because we keep it away, shove it away, store it away when we don't want it, that's the risk. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, that's gonna about do it for this video. Honestly, I'm gonna start looking for new type of content to make. And of course, I want to keep these, philosophical, meta, videos. I want to keep them going and stuff like that. But I want to try doing some new stuff too. Have like some more sophisticated editing and more sophisticated productions too. See what I can do and see what sticks the most. Not necessarily find my niche, because I want to make a bunch of stuff. I want to make a bunch of goofy things, and I want to make a bunch of serious things. In summary. But anyways, that's gonna be it for this video. I hope you guys really liked it. So the song of the day is gonna be truise, Flightwave. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and honestly, thanks for watching.